Very much. Okay, Alexis, wherever you are. There you are.
Congressman Boswell, thank you for coming down. Before I ask my question, I'd just like to be clear. I'm one of your constituents. I'm from Pella. Nobody sent me, and I resent people implying that those of us who come to forums like this to express our concerns. Speaker,
I don't think you've heard me say that.
No, you haven't. But one of my requests for you is to relay to Speaker Pelosi how much we resent being told we're asked to for un-American or a mob or racist or Nazi. Because we're not. We're your constituents. And also, my family has been without health insurance, so I know what that is like. So keep that in mind as I ask my question. With that out of the way, the U.S. national debt currently at over $11 trillion. That's 11 followed by 12 zeros, over $30,000 for every man, woman, and child in the U.S., and growing by around $500 billion a year since 2003. How do you and President Obama propose we pay for this bill, given that according to the Congressional Budget Office, which you just cited and said that you respect, and I quote, enacting H.R. 3200 would result in a net increase in the federal budget deficit of $239 billion over the 2010 to 2019 period. Please, end quote. Please note that this estimate includes whatever savings we might find by cutting costs. And also, if you plan to point out President Obama's suggestion of taking $500 billion from Medicare, please explain how Medicare will still be funded, given that according to the 2005 Medicare Trustees Report estimated that providing promised Medicare benefits over the next 10 years could require over $2.7 trillion in new tax revenues. Again, here's my question stated more simply. How will we pay for this plan without massive tax increases on the middle class, more astronomical borrowing, or both? And if you claim this plan will not raise taxes on the middle class, is that a promise the voters can hold you to? Thank you.
If you're going to continue making speeches before you get to your question, there are going to be a lot of people who won't get their question in, so just keep that in mind as well. Now, as far as the national debt's concerned, you know, this administration, this current administration, been in office, what now, a little over 6 months.
Spend a lot of money.
They spent a lot of money, but they also encumbered a lot of debt that came out with their occupying the office. You know that too. We're going to have dialogue, so let's just do this. You know, last fall, the Wall Street debacle took place, and the secretary of that administration showed up and said, I got to have $700 billion, and no oversight. Well, we didn't agree to that. After some discussions and so on, why we agreed to try to do something with some oversight and so on. So there's $700 billion. During that same time frame, the Fed, under the last administration, added 800. So that adds up to 1.5 trillion right there. And so by February, the people are saying that this new administration had accumulated all this, and they didn't. They got into the problems at hand, but that came with the going into the office. So just don't, you know, not look at that too.
I agree with you. Now, I think that was ridiculous.
Anyway, the point that I want to make with you is that a number of us worked very hard together to say, if you're going to buy, if you're going to do something, program or otherwise, you got to pay for it. And we've come up with the term pay-go.
You pay for it.
So I was with several that met with this new president in February, about 50 of us. We're in the White House, kind of interesting to be there for that occasion. And I was the one that had the last word that evening, and we had a discussion with him. And said, you know, we all believe that you got to pay for what you do. And we realize that there's a national emergency going on now. But we're going to be asking you to accept pay-go rules. And he was very receptive to it. We had a good discussion. We'd already done that with the leadership in the House, and they had accepted it. And so within about 2 months, I don't have the data memorized, but about 2 months I had an occasion to be in a group when the president met with us. He said, I agree, we have got to go to pay-go. So we're going to do that. We've got to get to that point. We're going to do that. Well, we did it back before, you know, 8 years ago. We were into a pay-go situation. We were actually taking our debt down, and we were operating in surplus. So I think we can do that. but we got to keep it on focus. So thank you for your comments. Alexis.
Your entrance.